powerhouse on my show. And I'm very excited. This young man has so much for our fans to kind of take a seat, So I hope you're ready for what we got to share. So not only as fans, are they interested in what's happening, but I'm interested in your background as well because your background is phenomenal. And so I'm going to start with, so my name is Katina with Level Up with Katina, and I have on my show Eugene Napoleon. And then I'm just going to discuss what he's got in store, the present, and he's just going to follow, and we'll just take it from there. So without further ado, Eugene Napoleon is the CEO of Nap Vision Entertainment, LLC. He's a 3 times best-selling author, a 3 times Special Education Teacher of the Year, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, mentor in business and consultant. He is the New Jersey Governor's Teacher of the Year at Soehl Middle School from 2022 to 2024. No, 2022 to 2023. Music Executive of the Year 2020. Former professional football player, AFL, CFL, also known for motivational speaking, leadership, and mentorship. And his platform on YouTube is Reflections 2.0, correct?
Yes.
Reflections 2.0. So without further ado, so I'm going to stop there because he shared with me something prior to this interview that is phenomenal. And so I don't know if we have sports fans or whatever it is that you may be. He was just inducted into the Hudson Sports 2026 Hall of Fame, you guys. Mr. Eugene Napoleon, welcome to this show. I'm honored, and I know the fans are ready for this one. Welcome to the show.
Much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Wow.
And I'm glad to be on. And some of the stuff you was talking about, I'm thinking to myself, wow, all of that from someone, and I didn't share this with you, but I'll share it now. I come from a single parent home
Wow.
in Jersey City, New Jersey. I'm the youngest of 7 children.
Wow.
So my mom, and I say this with all humility, and I say this with God's grace. I'm not supposed to be here.
Oh, wow.
My 9-year-old sister saved my life when I was 4 years old. One of the biggest house fires in 1970 in the history of Jersey City, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
So she gave her life for me, saved me, and her and a courageous firefighter died in that particular fire.
I am sorry to hear that.
Yes. So through the years, my mom has buried 5 of her 7 children.
Wow.
And so when I look at things, my perspective on life is a little bit different because we know you gain your perspective from your experiences. And through my experiences, it's allowed me to gain really, I would say, some direct perspectives. It's helped me to understand, to navigate trials and
Yeah.
tribulations, some of the, importantly, it really kept me focused.
Yeah.
So in seeing, kind of reliving some of these accolades, it's to God's grace. Trust me, it's to God's good grace. The Hudson County Sports Hall of Fame is something that I come from a great county. Hudson County in Jersey City is a really jam-packed county of talented athletes and just business minds,
Yeah.
people who have really over the years. So for me to be inducted in this 2026 class,
Wow.
it's
That's phenomenal. I got inducted in the Hall of Fame where I'm from for athletics, and I know the feeling, so I can share that sentiment. And to have such a prestigious, when I tell you no one knows the feeling until you hear it or you get that phone call saying, "Hey, come here, you're inducted, get on down here and just take it all in." So
right.
that's an honor. And like you said, for New Jersey, New Jersey's huge. And like you said,
Yes.
those athletes out of there is I mean, they're up there. I know this. We, competed around the world with some of these folks. And so just doing that, it's an honor all into itself. So we want to honor you for being inducted. So congratulations on that. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so
Wow.
much.
You're welcome. All right. So, Eugene, you have built an incredible career across education, business, athletics, and entertainment. What inspired you, like your journey into becoming such a multifaceted leader in this whole arena? Like you got it all, like you can do everything. So, what inspired you? Like, what just said, hey, I'm starting here and I'm taking this ship and I'm going with it?
Watching my mother was my everyday motivation growing up.
Wow.
My mom is was my life hero. My sports hero was Tony Dorsett. The
Yes.
inspiration from my mother, because I watched this woman, like I said, do everything. She was superwoman to me.
Wow.
So at 7 years of age, we sat down and I spoke to her about some of the things I wanted to accomplish at 7.
Wow.
And oh yeah, she never once told me what I couldn't accomplish. She just told me what I couldn't do.
Yeah.
So everything I'm doing now was what I pretty much talked about when I was 7, 8, 9 years old.
Wow. So you
And
built that platform. You knew what you were going after.
absolutely, the
Wow.
inspiration, I believe, once again, just watching her uh, do the things that she's done in her life. My mother is from King Street, South Carolina,
Okay.
where it was really tough. My mother was born in 1930.
Wow.
So you can imagine during that time, right?
Yeah.
When we were sitting, giving back, being successful, and being successful to me is not about money and cars and big homes. Being successful to me is freedom,
That's right.
being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it,
That's right.
right? So in these conversations with my mother, it was always inspiring, always thought provoking, always purposeful. No matter what I wanted to do, she would say, "You can. You can do it if you put your mind to it." Those simple anecdotal conversations spurred me on to do mine. You know what? When I grow up, I want to be a professional athlete. I want to own a business. I
Wow.
want to be in position to our communities, right?
Yeah.
Communities, Jersey City, or wherever we lived, I want to be successful and be in a position to give back to that particular community. So it's communities plural.
Wow.
And pretty much what it was. My mom is the source and was the source of my uh, motivation and inspiration to be successful in every field.
Wow.
So I have by God's grace, because if it were not for her and her prayerful hands,
Yeah.
possible.
Wow. Wow, man, that's deep. A lot of times, Eugene, when we look at a lot of people, when you talk to them, they don't ha so they'll say, well, when I got out of high school, I really started to figure out what it is I want to do. Or in college, they still don't even know what they want to do. So to have that background at 7, who does this at 7 years old and to continue to follow your dream is extraordinary. You don't hear that a lot. So that's that's something you just don't hear. So that's powerful. So, as
Thank
a 3 times best-selling author and creator
you.
of Reflections 2.0, what message
Yes.
or life experience motivated you to begin like writing inspirational stuff, the motivation, transformational content? Well, what inspired you on that aspect?
Watching a lot of young people not reach their goals,
Yeah.
being an
Yeah.
educator, the October 29th year teaching in the classroom. So throughout that time period, and from the places I've traveled to, you start to see people who kind of just miss their opportunities. And I'm talking about all walks of life.
Yeah.
from young people, young and old adults. And I got where I'm like, let me share, let me give a blueprint. If where I came from, if I were able to do this, there's a blueprint to this. And all the successful people I've been around, they don't share that blueprint. You may hear successful people talk about all of the great things they've done, but nobody says, here's how you do it.
That's right.
You know, ego allows you to say, I've done
Yes.
this, I've done,
Yes.
but they don't sit down and give you the blueprint. When I wrote my first book, and I told my mom, I said, I want to write a book, and obviously, I really want to make sure I pin this. And it's really was really dedicated. Dream Real was dedicated to my mother.
Wow.
And at the time, I was a successful sports agent. So to her, I want to give a clear lane and understanding of how I got to be where I'm at through a written book, but more importantly, the discipline, the upbringing, the sacrifice that you made to put me in this position. I want to share
Yeah.
all those layers with.
Wow.
She said, of course. That
Wow.
started. Let me pen this book. Let me get out here on tour. Let's speak. And it really opened up other opportunities when I started to see there were other young people who lost a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, lose hope. I'm going to show you something. I accomplished this because, first off, I listened to my mother. I stayed focused, diligent on my task, wanted to achieve some things, and I kind of put my mind to it. You can do the same exact thing. And I
That's right.
started giving them blueprint with them.
Wow.
Yeah, I started realizing a lot of kids don't want to read. A lot of adults may not like reading. So the quotes book, Reflections and Reflections 2.0, came born out of that. The fact that a lot of my students, they don't really want to read, but you'll remember a good quote. You may not want to read a 300-page book, but you'll remember a good quote.
That's right.
So that's where the two quote was developed out of that. And let me tell you, and I thank God for it because everywhere I go, I can take a quote and we can build on it. But we're going to have, writing. We're going to have conversations about the quote, reflect, and what does it mean to you in your life? I would use the quote in your everyday life.
Yeah.
That's been becomes something that doesn't matter where I'm at, doesn't matter what part of the country I'm in. Those two books, Reflections and Reflections 2.0, opened up a whole different lane for me with
Wow.
short narrative writings.
Wow. Wow. And so I'm going to ask you this question after that. So do you find, so when you talk about the blueprint and you're saying like a lot of people don't share this, and that's absolutely correct. Do you find that it's more now these days it's like much worse? Like you're like, oh wow, I mean, you didn't know that? Or like I know they don't know everything we would know, but at least some of the like footprints of a blueprint. Have you ever come across where they're just like, I don't even know. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I have a lot of people that tell me you don't know what you don't know unless somebody shares.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's true. So across all the different landscapes that I've been able, and I thank God for it, to travel into the music entertainment, field, the sports entertainment field, the literacy field,
Yeah.
you know, the educational, every step and every part and every success along the way, there was trials and tribulations.
Right.
And little pieces where you had to leapfrog from, you had to pivot from this situation to this situation. If you don't mind sharing that, to be honest with you, it's therapeutic for me as well because as I'm sharing those perspectives
Yeah.
and those experiences, it still helps me even more understanding of, what, that happened because of this. But here's the catch, and you're going to laugh at this, right? How do we invoke change?
Right.
We invoke change in open dialogue,
Yeah.
open honest, and then whatever you're dealing with, you can invoke positive change.
Right.
That's something throughout my life I try to do. And when you look at Napoleon's Corner, for instance, my YouTube channel,
Yes.
that that's when, even with that, each Wednesday I'm trying to put something out that maybe someone thought about, but they didn't actually want to say it, but they actually thought about it.
Right.
So those are when you're pivoting into these different topical conversations, it comes down to really not being afraid to share
Right.
information with people.
Wow. Wow. So with that being said, I'm going to ask you this question, which I'm curious about. So you received recognition as a three-time Special Education Teacher of the Year and New Jersey Governor's Teacher of the Year. What impact has education actually um, gave you personally this mission? Like, what is this mission? Like, what are you holding? Like, I mean, it's phenomenal what you have. Like, what's holding you? Like, hey, I'm going to continue this until, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
To my 9-year-old sister, right? So
yeah,
understanding that I'm here for a purpose, I'm here for a reason.
yeah.
And again, growing up, sports was one part of it, but my mother was serious about education. She was serious about going to school,
That's right.
version of yourself.
Yeah,
So once again, growing up in a household that was very nurturing in that way, I couldn't see it any other way. I knew, not to be braggadocious, that I would be successful as an athlete, but the other piece, the student athlete, meant more because people respect you if they know that you are,
yeah,
you are
yeah.
just a
That's right.
kid or a basketball kid,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
So I kind of took that very seriously. Um, so the key to me with the educational piece, to these schools, and you see the looks on some of these young people's face, and you can see the hope that's not there.
Yeah. Wow.
For me, coming from the projects of Jersey City, I already knew if I, achieved all of this, if I did, you can do it too. And I want to share how you can do it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a professional athlete. Not everybody's going to play sports, but everybody can go to school and be the best version of yourself in the
That's
classroom,
right.
where the educational piece came in. And once again, if I did it coming from my, so can you. That was really the drive and motivational force behind that. Just wanting to be a beacon of some type of positive light to share and say, if I did it, you can do it too. And here's how you go about doing it.
That's right. Now, did you ever get this? Because I got this. Did you ever get from your mom that, you know what, you can play sports all day long, or your dad, the sports that's great. But what are you going to do when you can no longer play sports?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My mom really big into sports, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Um, she was always pushing the educational piece because she already knew, look, my coach told her this, my high school coach, Frank Gargiulo, love him to life. What a great man. Your son's going to be a human being far longer than he's going to be a football player.
That's right.
So it's imperative for me, he's going to have to, I want to extend all of the morals, the character, everything that you're doing at home. My job is to extend it here in high school and make sure he's prepared. Beautiful man, honest assessment of what he really wants to do to extend my mother's values and core values at home,
Yeah.
to extend. That was always an important part because my mother always said that, look, football is fine. I really don't want you playing because I was a small guy.
Oh, wow.
The biggest. Oh my God. So she would always ask, I don't understand. All these big people falling on top of you or whatever, you know, but my mother could never watch a game live. So my nieces and nephews, no, she would never. So I would play it if it was, even if it was a televised
Yeah.
game, she wouldn't watch games. My nieces and nephew would tape the games for my mom. I would have to call her after the game to tell her I'm fine, I didn't get hurt.
Oh,
Then she would go and she would watch the,
wow.
yes,
Wow. Well, hey, that's that's those mom scores. So many people know you as a motivational speaker and an entrepreneur, but you also have a background as a former professional football player.
yeah,
How did the athletic part shape your discipline? Not like a athlete, but your discipline as far as mindset and leadership style. Do you think that foundation gave you a baseline of just continue to shape who you are today?
absolutely. Sports is a tool, and it does teach you discipline. It
Yeah,
teaches you, qualities. It gives you time management skills,
yeah, yeah.
all of those things. But again, I got to go back to that was taught to me in my home.
Love it.
Taught to me in my home. Um, making sure that you're prompt, making sure that you're not going to be late for things, making sure that you have self starter.
Right.
My mom instilled all of that before I even touched the football field.
Wow.
It made it that much better to already have those attributes. By the time I
Yeah.
got to playing sports, it was already there. Now, playing for great coaches really helped to perpetuate that. But those things, my mother was something else. She didn't play.
My dad didn't play. I can sentiment
So,
your mom, but my dad was just, ooh, man, it was like, oh, okay. And I played three
oh yeah,
sports too, so I get it. I get it. Oh man.
yeah.
Ooh,
But I thank God because of
wow.
the back when you walk into meetings as an executive from the music side and the
Yeah,
business side,
yeah,
a certain level of confidence that you have as a
yeah,
former athlete, as you as well as a former athlete, there's a
yeah,
certain confidence that you already have,
yeah.
which definitely helps. It definitely helps.
So do you, when you run into athletes, or yeah, when you run into athletes, do you get that are you able to, because you're intellectually, you see it, you're powerful in that way as far as your mindset and the vision. So like when you see different athletes and like when you're talking to athletes or you're doing, like you're speaking and things like that, when you speak with them, do you go, gosh, man, I hear him talking, but man, he didn't connect the way that I thought he should have connected. Like some of the pieces are like not there, like they don't understand. Not that they don't get it, but it's kind of like, well, coach, this is just what I did. I didn't get that when I was growing up. Did you get that a
Right.
lot?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I realize, and again, that's why I keep saying I'm truly blessed to come
yeah,
from a home, did come from, because I did get that at home. And
yeah.
to your point, there's a lot of athletes, or a lot of people in general that did not get that foundation.
That's right.
So I'll share out with them, especially if they ask me, because sometimes you got to be careful. Not everybody wants to
Absolutely.
hear. Yeah, not everybody wants to hear and get.
Right. Right.
So you be careful. But the one thing, guys, with other athletes that's very important, it's really trying to get them to understand their business, get them to understand how to how to read contracts, get them to understand at every level,
Yeah.
starting at the pop corner level, the high school level,
Yeah.
obviously the collegiate level. They need to really understand their business. So I'm more in tune to talk to them on that level, and even talking about financial literacy. You should know, if you have somebody that's looking over your paperwork, you should know what your paperwork says.
That's right.
Right. The prefix of the word contract, what do you con? What do you con me out of next?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What are you trying to con me out
Wow.
of next?
That's right. That's right. And and
Right.
I'm going to get to that next question. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and get to this next question. As the CEO of Nap Vision Entertainment, what vision do you have for empowering others through entertainment, mentorship, and leadership? So with your company that you have, you and your wife, the company that you have, like are you getting like, hey man, I've seen you do all of this, get me there. A lot of people, like you said, if you don't ask, like if you don't put it out there, like you got to be careful. But if you don't put it out there, number one, they're not just going to come up and say, hey, help me, but spreading that seed that you're doing, like I watched your YouTubes. I'm like, wow. I'm like, every topic that you build on, every episode that you've done many. Every
Right.
connection that you went from one to the other is powerful. And what people don't
Thank
understand when you're welcome, when you have such a platform like that, why not? Even if you're afraid to say, I don't want to ask anybody, man, I'll look kind of stupid going to ask them about this. Some people got ego and they have pride. I get it.
you.
But the
Hmm.
platform that you're lining out that you've done, it's commendable. I'm on there, I'm looking, I'm like, wow. I'm like, you have so much wealth of knowledge. And so a lot of people, like you said, they don't want to hear it. But by you planting that seed, which is powerful, that's very important. Very important. So wow, I just take my hats off to you for just continuing to do that because you've done many. It's not like you did a few and just stopped. Like you're consistent on what it is that you're doing and what you mean, what you say, and what you do. So that's powerful in itself.
Thank you. That's one that being consistent, and I always say that success,
Yeah,
that's the whole of success is consistency. And I share this with a lot of people, and it depends. Sometimes it hits and it falls just right when I say it, but
yeah,
if you no matter what you're doing, if you're consistent, it's gonna work for you.
right,
Now, unfortunately, it works both ways. If you're consistent in doing the things that are negative, that's gonna work for you.
right,
Right.
right. Now, if
So
you want that to keep
I try
working
to
for you,
tell,
you keep on. Yeah,
right. I try to tell young people, let's be consistent on positive and productive things.
that's right.
Be consistent on doing the things that's right. Try to be more focused and geared towards reaching your personal goals and doing the right things opposed to doing something that somebody else wants you to do and you're not being the leader that God made parents made you out to be.
That's right.
That's so when I meet people along the lines, because everybody wants to be a professional athlete,
Right,
everybody wants to be in space,
right,
everybody wants to be a content creator all of a sudden.
right.
Okay,
Like,
all of that stuff is great.
right.
But here's the catch. What's your purpose behind it? What's the message behind it? What are you who and what are you trying to impact and what are the reasons? He starts off with they want to be rich or it's all about the money. The conversation for me kind of pivots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's again, I've never gotten into any space, and it's the God's honest where money was the driving
That's
force.
right. That's right.
Because if you're consistent in your business, money will come.
It will come. It will come. And so for those watching, so you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I'm going to bring it out a little bit more. For people who are struggling like with the confidence setbacks, so we're going to talk about setbacks and a purpose. What advice would you give them as far as like staying motivated, staying continue to, press forward with success? You talked a little bit about, is if it's about the money, then that's going to come. But if you're wanting money and that's just your driving force, unfortunately, it's going to be a setback because money takes time. Unless somebody
Absolutely.
pours it into you, money takes time. So, what would you tell people that are watching or anybody like? how would you keep their motivation and confidence? For example, I'll say music. You have an artist and they're, trying to make it happen, but nothing's working for them, and they're just like, I just don't know what to do. Like I just don't want to do this anymore. Like, what would you give them on that aspect or any aspect? What would you say to them to keep them motivated?
Definitely. What's your why?
Yeah,
Right? What's your why? And a lot of times, it doesn't matter, music is one example, but your why, that should keep you going. And then it's the small things that
right,
I would say, and I have said this many times. So success is about the completion of a task. So let's go back to the smallest task, whatever that may be. If I wake up in the morning and say, you know what, my task today is elderly people across the street,
okay,
finish that task. I'm successful for the day because I've accomplished the task that I set forth, right?
right,
Just little things. Once you get your mind focused on that, you can do the day that's going to allow you to feel good about yourself and allow you to be successful. And then
yeah,
you build on that. That's on Monday, you achieved it, boom. You feel good about yourself.
yeah,
Now Tuesday, I'm gonna do
wow,
two tasks. You achieve it, myself. Now Wednesday, I'm gonna do three tasks. Before you know it, at the end of the week, you've accomplished 10 things.
yeah, wow,
Just because you have the follow through to have a singular task on Monday, by Saturday, you don't now you start once you get your mojo going, you start feeling good
yeah,
about that, apply that to the main thing that you wanted to do. I think a lot of people stop and they say, I quit
yes,
because they set up here.
yeah.
They didn't build the foundation down here yet.
That's right. It didn't come fast enough.
Right.
Yeah,
So let's build the foundation here with
yeah,
goals that are really obtainable.
wow,
Artists, they'll say, I want to get in the studio and I want to sound like Whitney Houston.
well,
Okay, that's lofty. Okay. How about you first?
that's right.
Let's build on you first. It's the small things. I think once you help people realize the small successes, you can then build on that. And
That's
that's
right.
motivation because if you don't imagine if you get the bat, you playing, that's why, three strikes you out.
Right.
You don't swing and you're out of here. No, it's three strikes you out. You get chances.
Right. Right. I love that one.
Right. Let's
Yeah.
build on that. I think people they jump a little bit out there too far, and they jump and they miss. Now they quit everything. No, let's not jump. Let's walk. Let's crawl. Let's walk.
That's
Let's
right.
jump. Now we can jump.
Well, it goes back to what you said earlier. It's about that blueprint. Even if you didn't get it in your childhood or if you didn't get it, halfway through college, I don't know. But like you said, building that foundation, like, let's start at the basis. And that's that blueprint you're talking about. You may not have gotten all of that when you were 10, 12, 16, or 20 or 30, some of them 40. But you know what? If you start with where you are and make those goals, then you push forward, and that's your blueprint. And a lot of people don't understand that. They get, like you said, they get in, they want to do all this at once. And like you said, where's your foundation? Now you don't even know where you're going. Where's your foundation?
Yeah. That's why I always ask that question. And I know that a lot of people they get it right
Yeah.
off the bat because that's a process. That's hard to process.
Yeah.
As well as I do, when you meet certain people, sometimes
Mhm.
you got to look at not to be the comprehension level, right?
Right.
So that's one thing that's sometimes tough, especially when you're in the industries of sports and entertainment, because the ego sometimes rules the person.
That's right. That's right. And then it goes back
Yeah,
also to what you said. That's why, like with you, I'll just give an example to the fans. So I can say, Mr. Eugene, man, this music thing, I really want to, do this, this, and this. And you, with no ego involved, you say, yeah, I mean, if you want to drive this business, you do this, 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 and this. How many people have you heard say do that? Not too many, not too many,
Right.
not too many. And so you're right, that foundation is huge. And as far as you being there and doing all these things, it's commendable to continue, and I know you will, but continue because the success that you and your wife, and I can't wait to get her on here as well. Man, you guys have built a mountain of success that, people can really look and honestly say, wow, if I had 2 seconds of their time, I want to learn all I can because you guys have it. And so I know from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for just being on this show because what you brought out there and what you bring to the table and what you've said, people are just like, just listen. Even if you don't want to hear the whole thing, just listen to those little nuggets that you're getting. It's powerful. So I appreciate you being on the show for sure.
Are you kidding?
Wow.
Listen, I'm trying to level up.
I love this. I love it. Well, hey, you done leveled up. I'm trying to catch up with you. So I don't know how much more leveling you got going on, but hey, tell me because I'll be right there with you. But tell the fans, tell everyone, how can they find like your book and what social medias platforms are you on so they can stay connected with you?
Absolutely. So on I'm just Eugene Napoleon.
Okay.
Instagram, I'm Eugene Napoleon, the number 33.
Okay.
And on X, I'm at Eugene Napoleon, the number 2.
Okay. What about YouTube? Is it
On YouTube, if you go to my YouTube, it's Napoleon's Corner.
okay.
That's my yeah, that will be that's my channel. And Napoleon's Corner is up every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It's amazing, y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. And I try to keep it less than 10 minutes
Okay,
every Wednesday.
that's perfect. And what about your books? Is it Amazon, Barnes and Noble? Like where are your books on which platforms?
So you can find my books, yes, on Barnes and Noble and Amazon.
Okay.
And I am honored, blessed, humbled. People, school districts, they still purchase my books.
Wow.
Um, I can't even say I have merch, I have the Reflections 2.0 t-shirt on
Nah,
right now.
that's how
So
you do it.
when I'm going out to speak, I always like to wear my own gear,
Right.
you know. So yeah, I do have merch, but you have no idea how appreciative I am to be on your platform, and I do mean this.
Oh, thank you.
Um, Good. And what you do for people, I'm hoping and praying that whoever comes on your platform really understand it's a give and take to this thing.
Yeah.
You don't have what you do. You share knowledge, you share, these type of anecdotal pieces with people by the guests you bring on. I'm
Yeah.
hoping and pray that individuals understand what you bring to the table and what your platform brings to the
Oh,
table.
thank you
It's an
so much. I
opportunity
appreciate it. Wow, thank you so much. You know, I, I was just like, wow, I was shell shocked. I was like, wow, I can't believe it. And that says a lot. And so I'm going to sentiment thank you for that. But also with you, I encourage people to get on there because I'm actually reading like your things on YouTube and what you've done. And, if that's not enough to spark somebody, then I don't know what to tell them, stay home and drink some Kool-Aid or something. I don't know. But your platform, what you're doing is inspiring. It's amazing. You and your wife also. So I can't wait to get her on. But you guys are amazing. You're inspiring to this world. So thank you for being on my show. I appreciate you.
No, thank you so much. And don't forget, I got a plug. My wife got the brand new single that's dropping on Wednesday, June 17th. More. So let's go. Let's support the more. And I got something for you before we depart.
All right.
Check this out. Whomever needs more, it is. If it's love, if it's compassion, more, whatever that more is for you, I want you to go out there and obtain it. So when you
Wow.
listen to the single produced by Kenny Black, the Music Machine, just know everything in life that you want and it's positive, you need more of it.
Amen to that. That's for sure. That is for
Yes.
sure. And
Yes.
your wife's single that's actually dropping. So thank you for putting that on the platform. Um, I can't wait to get her on here because I'm gonna also, bringing some more love out, before it drops as well. So what I'll do is I'll get her on whenever she's available, but keep it going until it drops to give people a little bit of taste of what it is. You guys, his wife. She's phenomenal. I'm just saying, I'm just going to put that out there for you guys because when you hear this young man, but when you hear his wife, that's why they're a powerhouse couple. And that's why you need to connect and get on their platforms and learn some things. So thank you, Mr. Napoleon, for being on the show. I appreciate you. And then with that being said, thank you guys for coming on Level Up with Katina.